Thank you for watching Carolina Chronicles. I'm Nicole Bruno, your host for today's segment of Helping Seniors. On today's segment, we're going to be talking about assisted living and special care units. I'm talking with Peggy Smith today, Executive Director of the North Carolina Assisted Living Association. Hi, Peggy.
Good morning.
Could you please tell us, Peggy, what exactly is assisted living community for the guests who may not know?
Sure. I think for those of the older population that might be considering housing options outside of their own personal home, this would just be one level of housing arrangement with assistance of daily needs that might exist as well. Primarily we're combining, allowing individuals to stay as independent as possible, but perhaps at home they're finding it difficult to keep up with all the maintenance of the home, or maybe need assistance with things along the lines of meals, medication management. And I think for many that I've worked with in my career, we find people often thrive once they come into such a community if they become isolated at home. So I think in a nutshell, we're talking about a residential setting with many other folks, but also keeping the independence and dignity of individuals in place.
Could you tell me, how is an assisted living facility different than a nursing home?
Okay. I would say that the main difference, it's a home-like environment compared to a nursing home setting being more of a medical model environment.
Okay.
And certainly depending on the person's needs, either may be appropriate. And I think what's so important in any level of care that we're considering is really assessing the individual to see what their needs are to then appropriately offer them these options. So the main difference being people in assisted living typically are not needing as intense medical supervision as they would in a nursing home setting.
Okay. So there are medical related services available in assisted living?
There certainly can be.
Okay.
I would say just not to the level or intensity that you might need if you were in a nursing home setting.
So someone could have, say, assistance with bathing or dressing or grooming if...
Probably one of the greatest benefits of assisted living is with the activities of daily living, bathing, eating, dressing, toileting, things where people may be beginning to struggle for various reasons, and for safety precautions, often to have 24-hour assistance available if you should need it is a very comforting feeling, I think, for many people.
I think one of the stigmas out there is that when someone moves into a community like an assisted living facility, that they're not ever allowed to go out and to do things. Are there different types of activities available for individuals?
I'm glad you hit on that, because I think it is a huge misconception. I think there are a lot of people that still, when we think of moving anywhere from our home, have that nursing home model in their head. And even that has changed over the years and is much better than it used to be. But assisted living, as I mentioned earlier, I think the beauty of it is you often see people thrive once they're around others because they need that social interaction. And
as far as funding, I know that's a huge issue for individuals. How would a person pay to move into an assisted living community?
Cost of care ranges greatly, and we're looking at anywhere probably from $2,000 to $5,000 a month.
Okay.
The way people would pay for such services is typically through private funds.
Okay.
A big encouragement for people to consider long-term care insurance, which can be very helpful in covering these costs. I personally have my mother currently living in an assisted living community, and you know, her assets and all are limited, so we, the family, have chipped in to just be sure everything that she's needing is covered.
You mentioned just a moment ago that you've had a personal experience with an assisted living facility. What was that like for you? What has that meant for you to move your mom into an assisted living facility?